This is James with Simetar. I'm going to demonstrate how to use Simetar to validate a univariate random number or random variable. We simulate random variables all the time, and most people don't bother to validate, make sure that they reproduce the mean and standard deviation of their data. So we have provided some easy to use hypothesis tests in Simetar for that purpose. I'm going to first calculate my parameters for a normal distribution here using summary statistics. It'll give me the mean and standard deviation that I'm looking for. I'm going to drag this across so I'll have the parameters for all 6 of my random variables. I'm going to simulate this with just a simple normal distribution. So I'm going to use equal norm, left parenthesis. Use f of x so we can see what I'm putting in here. I'm going to highlight the mean here and the standard deviation, and the random number is optional. I'm just going to press a return on that and drag this formula across like that. Now each time you press F9 you get another random variable, another random draw of your variables. I'm going to simulate those 6 random variables by going to the Simetar simulation engine right here. I'm going to clear whatever's there, tell it I have a label of left and above, and add, and then simulate it. And less than a second later, I've got concatenated labels for normal and variable 1 to 6. My next step is to do a validation test. So I'm going to use hypothesis testing. I want to compare 2 series. The series I'm going to compare are variable 1 here to variable 1 over here, which is these 500 observations in SimData. And checking, make sure I've still got the data in there correctly, and I said there were labels for both cells. I'm going to click OK, and it gives me back a t-test and an f-test. And both of them fail to reject the null hypothesis, so therefore I have a very high probability that I validated my data correctly. I fail to reject. Now, if I'm anxious to do a validation test on the other variables, that's very simple. Let's just validate variable 6. Okay. So we highlight variable 6 here. We come over here to SimData and highlight the 500 observations that we simulated for variable 6, like that. Labels in the first cell, click OK, and again we'll find out that we fail to reject the null hypothesis. There's another type of validation or statistical test in Simetar that's quite useful. Frequently, we want to simulate a multivariate distribution. And to do that, we want to really know, are the data correlated to each other? Is it necessary to include a multivariate distribution? So if you come in here and select that icon, I did that without talking about it, so let's do it again. If we come in here and select the correlation matrix icon on the ribbon, it asks for the data. So let's just give it this full range of data for all 16 observations. It could be a lot more observations and a lot more variables. I'm going to add it. I'm going to calculate a standard correlation, test significance. So I'm going to click that, click test significance, and say OK. And what it did was estimate a correlation matrix here. And then it tested whether these values, this correlation coefficient, is statistically different from 0 at the 95% level. And yes, 0.77 is statistically different, but 0.53 and 0.31 are not statistically different from 0. This one is statistically significant, minus 0.56. And this value here of 0.73 and 0.8 are statistically different. If you have questions, about this or other videos that we have or other capabilities of Simetar, contact me, please. Thank you.